Be an old decrepit game, except for him.
Still got the rest of the Laux.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I just don't understand. And see, I can have to get what the little things at the back of the table. Okay.
Okay, I got 7:30 on my watch, but we'll go into the story. City of Briaroaks City Council is now in session. Roll call.
Mayor Jerry Mabry.
Here.
Council members Andy Bode.
Here.
Phillip Laux.
Here.
Jack Perkey.
Here.
Terri Witcher. Here. Carolyn Johnson. Here. Everybody is present, we have a quorum.
Okay, before we get into the agenda, Terri, I need some information from you. I need either passwords, PIN numbers, or whatever to Google, Drive, YouTube, website, and anything else. Project to get them open. The secretary and mayor email addresses. Okay?
As a city council member, can I ask why you need that?
Do what?
As a city council member, can I ask why you need that? I'm trying to take something down. I don't know if the city has a YouTube account.
You don't know if cities have what?
A YouTube account.
They not?
So why do y'all need that if you're trying to?
That was the information that I was given.
So we can't know why it's needed?
I don't know, Terri. If I did, I'd tell you. I have no idea. Okay. Review approve the minutes for October 4th, 21, November 1st, 21, and November 22nd. Meeting.
Meeting minutes for October 4th, 2021. Call to order. The meeting was called to order at 7:30 p.m. by Mayor Jerry Mabry. Roll call. Mayor Jerry Mabry, Councilmembers Andy Bode, Mayor Pro Tem, Phillip Laux, Jack Perkey, Terri Witcher, Carolyn Johnson. There is a quorum. Review and approve minutes from the August 2nd, 2021 meeting. Corrections presented by council and a revised reading will take place at the next meeting. Review and approve minutes from the August 23rd, 2021 meeting. Corrections presented by Councilmember Bode. Mayor Mabry asks for a motion to approve the minutes. Councilmember Bode makes a motion to pass the minutes of the August 23 as read and corrected. Councilmember Witcher seconds. 5 in favor, motion passed. Review and approve the treasurer's reports for May, June, July, August, second quarter report. All reports were reconciled and presented by Councilmember Bode. Mayor Mabry asks, do I hear a motion that we accept the reports as read and corrected? Councilmember Johnson says, I make that motion. Councilmember Bode seconds. Councilmember Johnson and Bode voted in favor. Councilmembers Perkey, Witcher, and Laux were opposed. 2-3, motion failed. Councilmember Laux made a motion that we see the corrected copy before we vote. Councilmember Witcher seconds. 4-0 in favor, motion passed. No clarification on how Councilmember Bode voted. Animal control report, no report. Police report, no report. Discussion and possible action on hiring a city attorney. Attorney Mr. Wayne Olson of 208SE firm out of Fort Worth was present and spoke to council about what he and his firm can offer the city for services. Each council member had an opportunity to ask questions. No action was taken for the hiring of Mr. Olson. Review and discussion of possible action on the City of Briaroaks 2022 budget. Discussion took place and will remain posted until the next meeting to be voted on. Status of hiring a CPA firm. The first presented firm declined to work with the city after review of our documents. Councilmember Witcher will contact the City of Joshua CPA. Discussion and possible action on ETJ road frontage variance, 325 and 327 Florine Street, Kelly and Farrell Parkins to address council. They requested to be removed prior to the meeting. Adjourn. A motion to adjourn was made by Councilmember Witcher. Councilmember Bode seconds at 9:48 p.m. A vote of 5-0 in favor. Motion passed.
Any questions?
On number 5, I voted in favor of it.
I hear a motion, we accept, minutes as read.
Make a motion that we accept the meetings of October 4th as correct.
A second.
All in favor? Okay. Review the first September, October, and third quarter of the financial report.
Two sets of minutes. There's 2 sets of minutes, November 1st and November 22nd.
Okay, we need to approve the minutes read November 1st. I hear a motion.
I didn't write them.
Oh, we wrote them.
You all agree?
No, I did not.
I did.
Okay.
You agree? Okay. Special meeting minutes, November 1, 2021. Call to order at 7:30 p.m. by Mayor Mabry. Roll call, council members Carolyn Johnson, Andy Bode, Jack Perkey, Terri Witcher, Phillip Laux present. There is quorum. Secretary Kelly Alvin is not present. Interview for Paul Minsky for the city attorney. Could not make a connection for the meeting. Suggested was made to maybe have him come into the meeting next week. No response. No further discussion on hiring an attorney. Reviewed minutes of August 2nd, 2021 meeting. 2 items corrected. Item 4, strike the last sentence. They did not know how much money the city has. And item 11, strike opinion of all items will be seen in an audit. And all statements given that council Councilmember Bode, allowing unauthorized persons to access the city storage facility when the account was under his control. Phillip Laux' motion to accept is changed, seconded by Andy Bode, motion passed 4-1. Review and approve treasurer's report and corrections for May, June 2nd, May, June, 2nd quarter, July, and August. Motion by Phillip Laux to accept as corrected, seconded by Carol Johnson, passed 4-1. Adjourned 8:09 p.m.
On the 4-1, the other fellow was because somebody abstained, it wasn't voted against, is that correct? Or might not be voted on.
What's that again?
On the 4-1 vote, as I recall, it was because someone abstained, not voted against, is that correct? Or am I remember that correct?
I didn't know it was an abstain.
I do.
I thought it was a no vote.
No, it wasn't, it was an abstain, it was not a no vote.
Okay.
I don't know what makes a difference in the record or not.
I'll abstain 4-0, that's one abstention. I'll change it. And that was on, it was on the meeting minutes?
Yes, the vote on the meeting minutes. Was it the same on the, what? Was it on the meeting minutes? But,
Okay, I hear a motion. We accept November 1 minutes as read.
I make a motion we set as corrected with the
That
vote
was
change.
correction.
A second.
All in favor? Okay. Okay. And November 22 minutes. Thank you, my social skills.
Call to order, the meeting was called to order at 7:30 p.m. by Mayor, Mr. Jerry Mabry. Roll call, Mayor Jerry Mabry, Councilmembers Andy Bode, Phillip Laux, Jack Perkey, Terri, Carolyn Johnson, and Sarah Secor. Discussion and possible action on hiring a city attorney. Councilmember Bode makes a motion that we select Wayne Olson of TOAFC as the city attorney, seconded by Councilmember Laux. Mayor Mabry called for the vote. 4-0. Councilmember Woodruff abstained. Motion carried. Discussion and possible action to determine persons authorized to, and procedures to contact the city attorney. Councilmember Bode makes the motion that initially we have just the mayor authorized to make the initial contact back and forth with the attorney. We need to establish the guidelines after that point. Seconded by Councilmember Johnson. Mayor Mabry called for the vote. 5-0 in favor, motion carried. Adjourned. Mayor Mabry adjourns the meeting at 9:48 p.m. No vote taken.
I hear a motion we accept as read.
Mr. Mayor, it was adjourned at 7:48, not 9:48.
I agree with that. It was a short meeting.
Okay. Correction has been made. Now do I have a motion that we accept them as read?
Make the motion, we accept this.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay. Now you have a vote on it? Okay, Gary? Okay, we need to review the approved September, October, third quarter financial report.
September, general account, beginning balance, $211,458.81. Income was comptroller, $4,193.54. Checks cleared. U.S. Postal Service box rental, $234. Election system software, $1,075.73. AT&T, the police and animal control phones, $81.52. Checks outstanding. T-Mobile secretary phone, $84.65. And Secretary Kelly Alvin, September salary, $461.75. Checks outstanding from previous month, Secretary Kelly Alvin, July salary, $461.75. And Secretary Kelly Alvin, August salary, $461.75. And the total for the checks cleared is $1,391.25, for an ending balance of $214,261.10. Special account, beginning balance $2,465.04. Checks outstanding, Judge Gabbard Judicial Seminar for $150. And the ending balance would be the $2,465.04. Savings account, beginning balance $8,379.70. Deposits from CDs ending at 7685, $5.90. 4425 was $2.97. 4427 was $5.94. And we had interest paid over the past 92 days, 21 cents. For a grand total of $14.21 with an ending balance $8,393.91. Going to the third quarter report. On the general account, balance, beginning balance of $203,933.83. The ending balance for that period was $214,261.10, for a net change plus $10,327.27. Special account, beginning balance was $3,185.66. Ending balance $2,465.04, for a net change of minus $720.62. Savings account, beginning balance $8,349.63. Ending balance $8,393.91, for a net change of plus $44.28. And the net total for the cash for that period was $9,650.93. The income over that period, comptroller, we received $12,979.97. And Southwestern Bell, $375.09, for a grand total of $13,355.06. Expenses, payroll, special account was $513.53. The general account, $1,487.10. Payroll services, we paid $105. Texas Workforce Commission, $31.05. IRS, the payroll payment, $175.95. Election supplies, $1,075.73. For phones, $653.19. Postal service, $234. And grand totals were for the special account, $513.53. $3,762.02 for the general account. On the investments on the CDs, the current balance for the 8 CDs that we had at the end of that period was $182,478.01. Interest earned over that period was $44.28. Now, the October financial, beginning balance on the general account, $214,261.10. Income comptroller, $4,523.53. Checks cleared, T-Mobile Secretary Phone for September, $84.65. TML Risk Pool, $2,627.38. Payroll calculation by overcash, $8. T-Mobile Secretary Phone for the month of October, $89.78. Texas Workforce Commission, $45.27. Checks outstanding to AT&T Police Animal Control Fund, $81.62. IRS third quarter payroll calculations, $240.98. Secretary Kelly Alpha October salary, $461.75. Carol Johnson, reimbursement of office supplies, $173.94. Checks outstanding from previous months. Secretary Kelly Alpha July salary, $461.75. Secretary Kelly Alpha August salary, $461.75. Secretary Kelly Alpha September salary, $461.75. And the total cleared for that month was $2,855.08. And giving us an ending balance of $215,929.55. For the special account, beginning balance $2,465.04. Checks, the Judge Gabbard Judicial Seminar for September cleared, and that was $150. That was the total for the special account for the month. Ending balance was $2,315.04. Savings account, beginning balance, $8,393.91. Deposits from the 3 CDs that we have give us the interest like the previous one. It was $13.55. And that was the total $13.55. The ending balance for the savings was $8,407.46.
I have a question. Has our PO box gone up? It's been 204 in the past, now it's 234.
We're about to close off.
Has it gone up? It's been 204 in the past, and now it's
No, that was a late fee, because it bounced from the previous amount.
I'll tell you, I just got mine today. And it's going up again. Okay. Do I hear a motion that we
Can I ask a question regarding the September budget or the September treasurer's report? The U.S. box rental for 234, that's above what was allowed in the budget. That's above what's allowed in the budget.
Okay.
The 1,075.73 to election system software, that's above what was allowed in the budget. So I'm just curious, how many more items are we going to see as citizens that checks are just going out the door above what was budgeted?
Probably as many as we go under, because we do keep a balanced budget. If we're going to do anything, we're going to try to end on the positive side, not on the negative side.
So when you
adjust it somewhere else.
So where did you take the money from? What category did you take the money from? Since you overspent here, what have you taken away from this year?
Can I make a comment about that? When you budget, there are items that are carved in stone, such as salaries, and there are other things that are an estimate. A post office box is an estimate, just like insurance and everything else. And so it isn't mandatory, if you read, that they stay within it.
What's the estimation percentage allowance?
Well, you know, do you go to the grocery store and a gallon of milk goes up? You have to adjust it accordingly.
Oh, I agree
You
with
don't
that.
know that 6 months or a year in advance.
No, I agree with that, and I thought that
Well,
that's
that's
why
what
when
it is.
I thought when items weren't in budget, they were supposed to have a meeting to talk about. It was
No.
gonna cost 10%
Right,
more.
you're right, if they're not budgeted, that was budgeted, but they had to estimate the budget.
So what percentage is acceptable estimation? 10%,
Well, I don't know,
20%,
you have to. there's no-
$1,000, $2,000?
Can you
That's what
say-
I'm asking my council members, what is allowed?
Right, but. can
That's what
you
I'm
say-
asking them.
I know, but can you say how much inflation is gonna be?
Yes, I can.
Well, then you ought to be a licensed worker in Washington.
That's right.
I could probably answer that question with how much exactly are we gonna pay on streets?
Well,
It's the same type of payment. We have to estimate that. I didn't know what the payment for that was, but it could have gone up, could have gone down. That's just the way budgets are done.
so if everything goes up, what happens then?
That's,
Because Mayor just said everything's going up, so if everything goes up and blows the budget out of water, now you don't have the money. I'm just trying to figure out where the money's gonna come from. And at what point, does council talk about it?
If that happens, we're
That's
gonna have to
needed.
discuss it at a meeting, we're gonna have to cut something.
Right. And so we have a situation now where things are coming up, they're coming over budget.
If that happens, but we don't seem to be blowing the budget at this point.
Well, currently, the payment of 234 was over what last month's budget or last year's budget was allowed. And on the current proposed budget, it's also less than what was currently paid.
But that was with the late fee, if I'm not mistaken, is that correct?
No.
That's what they said earlier.
I know what they said, but the amount for the posted was actually 204.
Right.
But they didn't budget that in the budget either.
In the business world, don't we, on budgets, you're allowed 10% over before it needs further approval.
So is that the customary? I just want to know.
That's
I just want to know what
You're allowed
the city's happy with.
without further approval.
I would say that's a discussion worth having, we've never had a discussion, legitimate question, discussion worth having. But budgets are going to change as you go, we all know that.
I understand they're going to ebb and flow. I want to know what the threshold is that warrants a discussion. Do we get a surprise of $50,000 and
We know you
now
wanna know,
suddenly-
we know you wanna
right.
know on tape, we know you wanna post about it, we're on discussion about it.
No, I think we need
Yeah,
a
why don't you ask
process.
somebody on that one?
There will.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
So it's a discussion worth having, it's a legitimate question, but it's never come up before, so. Is it generally within 10%? We would have to look back quite a ways to see. Personally, I think we would have to get our, what's our person, he stepped up and been taking care of this for a little while until we get our house back in order, our confusion back together, whatever, so we can get along.
Well, I think we need to set up a process for this, not just say, well, we think, we don't know, maybe it's 10%.
Correct.
The city needs to,
There
and
is
we
a
need
process.
that, a lot of stuff, to say, this is what it is.
Right.
Not first, well, I don't know.
Right, we now have legal counsel, we can discuss with who's responsible for what. And I personally don't wanna vote on any more budget stuff until we have, our budget person in charge of budget stuff instead of someone stepping up and trying to do the right thing and filling in. Because it shouldn't be his responsibility. I mean, I appreciate his hard work, I'm not gonna do it. But, I'd rather abstain from all these budget votes until our budget person's in charge of it.
Until-
Or until we confer with our legal counsel on how this is gonna work from now on, because, we have different people doing different things, and it should be under the same person doing the same thing.
Mhm.
That's not settled at this point.
I agree. The city councilman shouldn't be the treasurer. It's-
We need the treasurer doing the treasury stuff, so we either need a treasurer or the treasury duties assigned back to a treasury person, or however it's gonna work out.
Yeah, we need to.
I'm not trying to point fingers, I'm saying we need to get it back in order.
Yeah, because right now, the treasurer is under the city secretary's job description, so it is very confusing.
That's part of the dispute. My point is, he shouldn't be responsible for all this. I don't care for voting on all this when, it's not under a treasurer who's gonna be held responsible for it, and it's being passed around. It's, you know, he has legitimate questions, a legitimate conversation to have, but it really, everything on here there should be a treasurer responsible for it.
You shouldn't be a council member.
That's correct. I mean, like I said, I appreciate all his work.
Over for lots of trouble.
I appreciate all his work. I'm not touching it.
But it-
I would rather not even vote on it. I'd rather abstain from votes on this until we talk to our legal counsel more about it and have a treasurer on top of this. That's my opinion.
However, can you have a treasurer if you don't have it in the budget? There you go back to a catch-22.
And that's a conversation we're having.
But that's not on the agenda tonight. So it's not supposed to be discussed.
But approving these financials is.
It is, but treasurer business is not as far as hiring.
Well, I can explain to council why I'm gonna abstain on this. And I can also answer his question that came up tonight.
Now,
That's all I'm
in-
doing.
In all fairness, the mayor is the one that's in charge of the budget. It's not the treasurer.
Well,
It is the mayor.
like I said, I would have to refer to our legal counsel for that. And I'm not referring to our legal counsel yet. The mayor is the only one doing that.
Right.
We haven't
But
got to that point.
that is one of the duties of the mayor, is to be in charge of the budget.
City council.
Does the job description be where you belong? We put it together?
You're looking at the wrong guy.
I was just saying, there's a job description and it says who does it.
I don't think we do a job description.
There are some, but you're gonna have to ask the mayor. And the mayor's gonna have to ask the attorney because we haven't got past that yet.
Because if we don't wait-
You follow me?
Yep, move on.
Well,
Oh, I think you discussed it. You gotta hold it within the budget.
Then we have to see if we're gonna approve these financials.
And then you put it on the agenda, you know. You said you're being,
Yep.
I was just explaining why I'm gonna stay. So,
Honestly, we haven't had any control over it, so we just so it doesn't matter.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, you wanna pigeonhole it? We're gonna, the next meeting,
This is an accurate accounting of what was spent. That's what the report's for. It needs to be approved.
okay, I'll make a, do I hear a motion that we accept it, with red?
I make the motion that we accept it.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
I'd say.
I'm not able to actually say until you get a legal report on it. I can't look. I'm saying, y'all have the ability to pass it, but I can say.
Okay. Review and approve the 22 budget. Okay. Any discussion on the budget?
I have a few questions. The election supplies, has anybody looked at who's gonna do our elections? Now, because I don't think the people this week, women who have left out, I don't know if they're gonna all be willing to do that. And, I mean, I can't speak for them, that's for sure, I mean, I can speak for them, but I totally know. And she wouldn't, so I don't know if we'll have somebody else in mind, or we should think about the county doing that election, which is pretty pricey, from what I understand. So I think we need to discuss that, because we don't have a lot of money in there for that. Do I have any ideas on the election?
Can I ask what difference the supplies make as to who does the election?
Oh, it's huge, if the county does it, we're looking at.
No, I'm talking about, we're talking about you had 3 people that did it last
If you
time?
don't have somebody that's willing to pretty much volunteer, but they don't get paid, for considering how many hours a year,
Okay,
then we have no other alternative except to go to the county, and that changes the price dramatically.
okay.
Yeah. So that's why I just wanted to know if anybody has any ideas of who might.
Well, that is not even on the agenda, Terry.
It's on the budget. It says
We ain't asking
election
the budget
software,
yet.
election
We're
supplies,
in the middle of it.
election judges. And you have, the software is 1,000, the supplies is 600, and the judges is 1,700. From what I understand, talking to Robert Wilson, if the county does it, they're probably looking about 10,000. So yeah, I think it's something that should be brought up.
What is your remedy?
Well, I'm asking you, do you have any ideas of anybody that might want to do it?
I can't tell the future.
Has this always worked before?
Well, no, the whole process has changed. Before early voting was at Perkey Harkin's house, and that's not happening anymore. So then you just had the date of the election, and you just had to get people for that day. But it's totally changed since that last election, where they had to go to the firehouse and have somebody make this money that time. So that was a big shift. But, it's just bringing it up, so.
You don't know, or, you know, until he puts the feelers out, find out if people that want to do it. I mean, why shut it off? If you get it.
I'm going to just say it, it's
Yeah, I
something to think
understand.
about.
It's not an issue, if you can find out you got nobody.
Last time we were at the last second, we had, so I was hoping to drop it.
Well, the people that did it last time had been asked ahead of the meeting.
Yes, he did wonderful, thank you. Very much.
They couldn't go out last time.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We could put on a future agenda to have the myself come to the meeting and explain it if they need. It's possible for them to handle.
Yeah, we do need to be quiet, the last time we kind of put together the last second.
I said they've been doing it for decades.
Yeah.
But then the process just changed, so that's all. But I think that's a good idea that we're proactive about it, and not wait till the last minute, just calls on certain people. This is my next question. Why do we have the secretary and, well, there's the treasury salary? Are we, that, I mean, have we voted to have a separate secretary? I mean, fit separate treasurer from the secretary? I just don't recall. You know, I know we haven't voted on that. But the municipal judge is on there too, and I still question why we have a municipal judge and we don't have any hearings, I mean, any court. So I don't understand that. She's already been paid, and I don't understand that either because it wasn't voted on. Crickets.
Well, isn't that being proactive, like you just got through saying? You're putting something in the budget that may be voted on in the future. So therefore, if it is voted on in the future, then you have the budget to go off of. If it's not voted on, then that's just excess money that you have, correct?
Yeah, we're not talking about this year, we're talking about next year.
You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
wiggle room you may need.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I
It's,
just
I
want to
mean,
make sure that we get.
to me, it's being proactive.
I'm just a little concerned with some things that change with that, like payroll, the direct deposit, that's stopped, even though it's voting in. So just want to make sure that all the city council gets a choice to make a decision.
What you're talking about changing the job description on our secretary, is that what you're already
I
talking
don't
about?
know.
I'm just saying, you're talking about changing who's gonna take that. I mean, it's already set up, get it done for years, and all of a sudden you're gonna change it. And that hasn't even been talked to, discussed.
That's what I'm talking about.
So when you think that's been thrown around, actually, what y'all talking about, or do something, or bring it up, we talked about it. The job description.
She was hired without a job description.
No, she has a job description, she always
It
has.
came after she became again.
No.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I was here when it
It's
happened.
precedent, what the
I thought
former
that was
secretary
our-
always done.
If y'all are going forward with an audit, which you have to do, you're gonna need a dedicated treasurer to handle that, because you have no documents to present, which is why that's so big out.
What do you mean, you have no documents?
What, can you show me the year-end report for 2020?
I don't know, because you'll have done it. No, I haven't done
She
any
didn't
of
do
it.
it. She was a treasurer at that point in time. She didn't do it. There are none. There are none. And somebody's gonna have to sit down and do that, and it's gonna take a lot of time and effort. And you need a dedicated treasurer to do that, not somebody who's trying to do this and that.
Okay, we'll discuss that.
Well, that's fine. I'm here to discuss it now if we're gonna bring this question up.
It's not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda. I don't know, we-
Yeah.
Well, but everything else you wanna talk about
We're
is
talking
like
about the
elections.
budget, and that is what I'm talking about.
You're right, and that's why it needs to be in there, so you have the opportunity to hire somebody to handle and work directly with the CPA on the audit.
That's not for you to determine. That-
I'm
We're
sorry,
gonna talk about
I'm
that.
sorry, I know a little bit more about auditing than you do, okay?
May I have a question, ma'am? What is your expertise in?
I understand.
In
And
accounting?
I graduated from UTA 4.0.
So you're an accountant?
I'm accounting and information
Okay.
systems, so I know what I'm talking about. And you're gonna need a dedicated treasurer to handle this.
It's how, but this city's been here for quite a while, and we've been running it one way, and the secretary
Right,
has done this, and so
You're right.
why all of a sudden you gotta change it?
You are right, it's been done that way, but that doesn't make it
And
right.
it's went going to the right.
It doesn't make it right, the state requires an audit every year.
Okay,
And
this is
it has
where
to
you
be
need
done.
an attorney to step over here and say what's right and wrong.
But I can tell you about the audit aspect of it. That's part of my job.
That's completely off, we need to deal with what's
But
going on.
we have hired an attorney to tell us that.
No, we don't. We
Where's
never
the
did that
attorney?
start.
I thought the attorney was gonna be here tonight. Where is he? Is the attorney not here?
I can't talk to him. I don't know, I can't talk to him.
No,
We
they
haven't
can't.
got, we haven't got to that point yet.
Somebody can.
Well, we haven't got to that, no, that's fine. I'm okay with the initial point of contact. We haven't got past that yet.
Get over
Oh,
it.
yes. Yes.
My only question.
It's okay for me for now, but we haven't got past that.
We're supposed to have an audit every year by law. Why did we just drum up here about 3 months ago? Let's go ahead and have an audit, make it,
I think because it came to a
I
head.
agree.
I mean, why wasn't it done to start with over the past years?
And I'm having a real hard time getting the CPA for to listen to us to call me back. Because I think they can tell that these reports have not been filed. So we have to get really an RFP, but that's a separate item on the agenda, so.
I have a guess, an educated guess, not an answer. Would you like to hear my theory? Okay. My theory is that for the last 50 years, these neighbors that formed a council, every year at the end of the year said, hey, look, the checkbook is balanced. Our budget worked. No one was accusing anyone of anything, and no money was missing, and they considered that to be an audit, just like when you balance your checkbook. You basically audited your
I'll
account.
tell you, Mary was really tight. She talked to people, she will talk to them.
Exactly. Therefore, they didn't pay someone from the outside, our city money, to come in and check on everything that they knew to be fine. Now, it has come to light recently that the state requires us to have a legal auditor do a legal audit and an audit report, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, that's great. Now that we know that, let's get it done. We'll get a baseline to go from, find out what we've been doing right and wrong, and we'll proceed from there. Finding out why we didn't do it before, or what's wrong, or trying to punish ourselves for the past doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
We've been trying to find an auditor, and have they not turned us down?
Yes, the
So my-
second one that y'all gave me, I think from the city, Joshua, that one, the first one turned us down, and they won't call me back.
But my answer is, my theory is, it was never done in the past because previous councils, previous mayors
They all agreed on it.
all agreed on it. Now that it's come to light that this is some, forced legal agreement from the state, then, okay, let's do that right and proceed. But to try to go past councils and past mayors and punish ourselves, it makes no sense to me. Let's get it right and move forward. So we're trying to do that.
Yeah, we're trying to do that with all.
We're trying to do that.
I think we agreed that
And,
city
and I think the
council
state would be fine with us trying to get it right. That's what we're trying to do.
to do it the 3-year look back. I think everybody, the
We
council
agree on
agreed.
it. We agree on getting the audit.
But the more research I do, you're gonna have to do an RFP. And I have a couple of examples from different cities are pretty detailed. I don't know if we can do that detailed, but it's pages, you have to tell them exactly what you need. And then send it out to them and so forth, and somebody will pick us up.
Now, you still on the budget, Terry? Or you jumping up, down to,
Well, we were just talking about that, okay?
We started at one and ended up with another.
Yep.
Move on.
we sit and argue back and forth all night long, and we not accomplished the damn thing.
I want to know one last question on the budget. Since inflation is so bad right now, has this been figured into this budget at all? And you might not get an exact number, but why don't you take what the raise is on Social Security right now, which is what, 5.9% or something like that? At least put a little something in there for inflation. We know that's over the higher ones I've ever seen, but just a question. If that was thought into this budget.
They got your motion.
Did you answer my question?
I didn't hear you.
I wanted to know if inflation was thought of in this budget. Since everything is going up, even your social security is going up. Has anybody thought, is inflation?
I'm sure that to an extent it probably was, some of it, yes.
Well,
But overall, probably no.
Am I allowed a question? Am I allowed a question? On your annual incomes, on your telephone franchise, you're only getting $375 a quarter, and we'll figure that $1,500, it's not $2,000. And then on your CD interest, you're making $44 a quarter, which only equals $177 a year instead of $2,000. So you're looking at $2,500 shortfall on your income, based on your budget, off these current numbers.
Yes,
Unless y'all got some CDs somewhere that are really making some interest that we don't know about.
this third quarter report only shows $44 for the
I know
quarter.
you multiply that
For
times
3
four.
months, again.
Multiply that times 4, you come up with $177 instead of $2,000. So I'm saying, numbers are matching the income.
CDs earn interest at different rates, different times of the year. Some are monthly, some are twice a year, some are once a year. And we have one CD that covers most of that figure that is there.
Current interest rates, and you're gonna have $1 million here for $2,000 to put in.
No.
You can't get 2% on a CD.
Well, what was the year at CD interest for 2020? Don't know who.
Well, it shows here on the second quarter report that there was 182,145.22 in CDs, but it shows 182,478.01 now, but it only shows 44.28 was earned, so it's not showing $288.51 either. So those CDs grew, but it doesn't show the interest, or it just shows they grew.
The United Co-op, did they, this price is $20 grand a year?
I mean, it's a good question, but we could change that to $0 and just take $2,000 out from something else to spend.
I understand that,
But,
I
you
mean,
know,
I put a budget together for you myself, and it's a bill where you've got to put justified money there before you can spend it.
that is almost the exact figure that we got interest last year from the same accounts. That's the only reason it's there as that.
That's it. I don't know how many CDs paying 2%.
They're all 2%.
Maybe paying 10%.
There are 8 CDs in the savings account.
There are 8 CDs in the savings account. Because I had a question with that same question on that budget too, but I thought you said I don't see everything. Maybe is that what you were talking about?
Well, there are 8 CDs in total. When you see like the September report, there are 3 CDs listed with their filers, plus there's a savings account for the city. And what is listed on a financial report is if it was paid that month. Not all of them get paid every month or every quarter or it's once a year. And that's what shows up as reflected on each financial report. And when you don't have end of year, when you're creating a budget, if you don't have an end of year financial for the previous year to work from, you're doing your best guesstimate work, and that's what they had to do with the budget for years. But when you look at the CDs, like on the September report, only 3 CDs were listed.
So do we have an end-of-year report for any years?
No,
Okay.
no.
So you said we had like 2020 was like the most devastating thing ever. It's never been done.
No, it's never been done. But for someone to do 2021 and 2022, when the budget was done for 2021, there was no end of year financial work from 2019 to know what they needed to go through. Was there inflation? Was there this? Was there that? And those questions should have been asked, and you had the opportunity, as well as everybody else except for Phillip, to ask those questions when the 2021 budget was done.
But there's never been one done. I didn't know that there was never.
I
never had one
okay.
done.
That's a question for you to ask. You're the council member, not me.
Okay.
You should know, you should be looking at what is transpiring and how can you vote on a budget when you have no idea what happened the previous year?
I don't know why it matters so much. If you can ebb and flow 5-10%, what difference does it make? If it's close, it's close. Yes, I don't know. I don't know why we have to argue over the numbers if they don't matter.
You're the one that brought it up.
Right, but that's the point. Either they matter or they don't. If they can ebb and flow 10%, then what difference does it make? It either matters or it doesn't.
Okay. I think I had you an answer.
I think you do too, how to run it.
Okay.
Let's see.
Paid last year interest. This is just one CD. It's $80.22. That comes up with the figures that you're talking about, that interest. Here's the next one, $160.46. $231.62. $173.72.
Those monthlies,
$217.95. $100.26. $213.74. $681.93. You add those all up, and you're right at $2,000.
that's the monthlies.
And just as this one gets, it's in a 3-year term, 1.6%, and it was working off of $56,000 and it paid $671.93. And this is straight from the bank. So I didn't just pull them out of the air, I did add
I just
this
want to make sure. when you look at the, you know, when you look at the quarterly report, it says $44, you kind of go, okay, where'd you get the 2,000 for 44?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
could I make just a councilman statement real quick? I think we should explore, based off what I've seen in my short time as a council member, my time at Briaroaks, I think we should explore having a secretary and a treasurer, because as a manager of people, she manages people, he manages people. I wanna hold this person accountable for their job, this person accountable for their job. Honestly, she has enough to do, because we can't never get meeting minutes approved in the meeting, and she's gotta redo them every time. She's gotta do all these information requests, we've gotta, you know, in a budget, always has questions, and we're redoing them every time. I really think for the couple $100 a month these people get, I really think that's two people's job, in my opinion. And I really think that this person should answer these questions, that person should answer those questions. I think we should explore in the future, put it on the agenda, that is two people's job. That's my opinion.
I totally agree with you. We need to hire a person to do the finance audit.
It's not that she wasn't doing a good job or he wasn't doing a good job. I think it's two people's job. That's my opinion.
I said, I agree.
It's gotten more complicated since the lady who did it for 50 years, I didn't know her, I'm sure she was amazing at it, but it's gotten more complicated now. We got city lawyers, and we're gonna have state auditors, and people are calling comptrollers and everything else. I think somebody needs to be personally responsible for that.
It can be,
I do too. We're pretty good at kicking the can down the road. No, letting it go by. And
I
I think we
think,
better
if
get
I'm not
on.
mistaken, we discussed, possibility of hiring a treasurer. You mean with that?
I think it's something that should go on the agenda and we should explore. That's my opinion.
Let's budget it for next year.
It's in there.
It's in there.
Carolyn, treasurer.
It's a building block of doing things the right way.
It sounds like I'm not totally off my rocker.
Well, it's also good accounting practice.
Totally. I said totally.
Well, it's also good accounting practice to do that way.
I'll take your word for it. I know I'm not doing it.
And in the past, we have had a city attorney, this wasn't anything new. We went a period of time without a city attorney, but we have one.
I wouldn't think Kelly would jump up and down and say, heck yeah, I don't want to do that part of it.
A lot of work.
But,
If it's budgeted, I think it should be there. The job should be there. Yes, treasurer.
Where do we stand on this, on approving of the budget?
I don't see why we can't approve with caveat that it needs to be discussed, that a treasurer has, whatever is in this budget, that position, if it's not already existing, caveat needs to be done, make it happen. I.e. treasurer. I think that's the one that most people in this room right now are stuck on.
What?
The treasurer, I think everybody in this room is kind of out here stuck on getting someone to do the financials. Not stuck on it, that's what they want to see happen.
Yeah, because the way it was done. I
Pardon?
think it was more the way it was done.
We don't have a treasurer, do we?
No,
That's
if it
what I'm
was the
saying.
way that,
That's what I'm
instead of
saying.
saying, we need a separate city secretary, that would have been beautiful.
Yeah.
But it was not done. That's
But
probably why
we
they
have,
were saying.
now we have an opportunity next year to have it correct.
Yeah,
Because it's already
leave
budgeted.
it in there, I just questioned
Yes.
it, that's all.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we can't do it tonight
No,
No.
because it's not on the agenda.
That's what I'm saying, we can approve it with a caveat of,
Yeah, but it has to go on the agenda. Maybe
You posted it,
next,
that's what I'm saying.
next
Isn't that-
time.
I would
isn't
like
that what a
to
motion
explore it,
for?
put it on a future agenda.
we do the motion, but the caveat is what, is that going to be
Secretary, come
Am I
here to
mistaken?
put it on the agenda.
How about that?
you can request it goes
That's what I was
on the
asking.
agenda for
Right.
next time.
Right, that's what I
But
was
we
saying.
can't discuss it or do anything
That
about
needs to be
it
on there.
tonight.
Correct. Correct. I'm not asking to.
Okay,
You're saying it needs to be put on the agenda for next time.
I have a question. What about the police vehicle on the budget and there's just 3 question marks?
well, as I understand it, the police vehicle is pretty well worn out.
Yeah, have you seen
It runs.
Well, it's sitting
20 years
somewhere
old.
dark.
It runs. You're not gonna buy it.
He never complained, he just kept
I
running.
never did complain.
It's great. It's jumped it off all the time.
Honestly, my 3 new neighbors this year all said, we love having that police car down the street, and it disappeared.
What'd you say?
Seen it over his house.
I sit over here. Got that in your yard?
Yeah. All 3 new neighbors said, we love having that car.
Been on trail with it for a while. Feel like everybody else just put a mannequin in there. It's parking.
Yeah.
That might not be a bad idea.
You can sit there at the stop sign where you have a big crowd, sit it up there by y'all, or.
Move the stop sign to stop sign, people stop.
Everyone go through this
These
stop sign.
kind of papers, they-
Karen,
stop.
I know somebody who made it on.
You should have seen them come over that hill.
He probably calls him.
Okay, well, we need to get back on the agenda here, we can just take care of it. Yes, we'll be here. Maybe we get better. What do we want to put on the face? We need to get it passed.
Make a motion.
We will have a, down here, motion to be accepted. If you accept this, we come back and special meeting and add to it.
Yeah, Perkins' question was if we accept it, do we have a special meeting to go back to it, or is that? Isn't that what you're asking?
We shouldn't go back to it.
Well, we
We
didn't
can
put it
get
on
any
the
adjustments
agenda.
now if we want to.
Things change, can we go back to it?
Yeah, things change, we'll go back.
We need to make the adjustments tonight, and pass it tonight.
You can always vote and change it.
You can always.
Yeah.
He said
Amend
no,
the
we
budget.
can't. And you said we can't?
It needs to be done tonight so that it is in place for next year.
And
Yes,
they're asking about the budget be amended down the road.
it
I
can
think
be
that's
amended.
what,
Yeah.
I think that's what they're asking.
Can I get a clarification?
That is the process.
Can I get a clarification? The budget is the council and mayor's responsibility? Is not the treasurer's responsibility?
If the council approves,
The mayor proposes it, the council
Council has to
approves
approve
it, the treasurer adheres
I
to it.
wanna make
The
sure.
mayor brings forth the budget. It should be approved by the council. And if it's going to be amended in any way, it can be done during the next year. Whether it's somebody's salary, or whether it's an amount, anything else. But it has to be done by the council.
But it's the council responsibility.
As an ordinance, it has to be done as
I
an
just want,
ordinance.
okay, because, like I said, I wanna see us get our house back in order, and I'll get along, because we have had some gotcha gains in the past year, and I don't wanna approve a budget, and a gotcha come up, that it was not prepared by the right person, and the wrong person prepared it, and we approved it, and some crap like that, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not gonna step into that pie. So it's the council's responsibility, then I make a motion, we approve it, because we can always change it, because we're the council.
It can be changed. I will second it.
All in favor? Okay, like that. Okay. Next item item is the announcement election 2022. You got that, Terry?
For the election, year 2022, December 20th, 2021 is the deadline to post the candidate filing deadline. January 19th, 2022, the first day to file for a place on the general election ballot. February 18th, 2022, last day to file for a place on the general ballot at 5 p.m. Also, last day to order general election. April 7th, 2022, last day to register to vote. April 25th, 2022, first day of early voting by personal appearance. May 3rd, 2022, last day of early voting by personal appearance. May 7th, 2022 is the general election day.
Okay. Here, motion that we accepted as they read.
Motion that we accept it as read.
Do what?
Said I'll motion to accept it as read.
Okay, do I hear a second? Second. Second, all in favor? Okay. Okay, we need to discuss, and that the newspaper for the city council announcement the motion. I don't know that we've got a lot of options there, so.
Yeah, I think we need some clarification on that. What are you talking about? Announcements in paper, like the newspaper?
Yes, the newspaper.
We have to put an article in there of posting about the budget passed, and what the vote was.
Okay, for that.
Right, it's in announcing meetings and
But what did you put it in last time? The open start?
it was the Boston Star they were under.
Well, no, both start.
Between the election announcement last year, it was included.
Yeah, the Cleveland. The Burlington.
Cleveland's the one.
It was convenient. The Cleveland Times Review is probably the next best choice I can decide. I'd rather do that than put it in the Forward Star.
Yeah. Yeah, it would make sense. It is.
Okay.
So how many people out there think? The first day to start getting
But you
That's
can
okay.
go online and look at it. I think you don't have, you don't even
on paper.
need to read it. Because it shows a lot of the, postings, announcements, all of
Didn't Marty say that's on the internet?
That's what it's saying.
Do you have to subscribe to that newspaper to get those announcements?
You know, it's a hard thing to do somehow, because I know people that share those with me too.
You
But I don't
don't,
know.
you don't have to?
I don't know.
Okay.
People
Well, it's
share.
online.
And those start getting.
It's online.
Okay, so you don't have to subscribe to it. Okay. So let's make a motion.
Okay, we're going to decide on the paper. Okay, do I have a motion we use the Cleveland paper for all?
I make the motion that we choose the Cleveland newspaper for those items.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. Cleveland paper it is. Okay, discussion and advertising for this to be for police officer and the newspapers for this to be to be put in the, paper. Agreed?
That's how you do it.
All in favor? Put it in paper. Or send it to you.
I'll make a motion to.
Okay, motion's been, you got your second? Second, Carolyn? Opposed? All in favor? Okay,
I thought we were gonna talk about a police officer, not just put it out there. We agree on that.
okay, discussion and approve the appointment.
It isn't, we're not hiring somebody. We're supposed to in the paper.
No, it's just putting the application in paper.
Okay, because I wanna talk about the constable that you came up with too, that I did.
That would be nice, but I can't have a conversation.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Needs to be added.
And then we'll talk about the constable versus the police officer like we had in our meeting.
Which is what, Terry?
We talked about a couple of meetings ago, instead of a police officer, maybe a better idea, actually it was Phillip's idea, to use a constable maybe, instead of hiring a police officer.
Well,
Do none of y'all remember that meeting?
yeah,
Okay,
I didn't agree with it.
but I don't agree with it.
well, okay, well, we need to discuss those
And I
sides of
think it
it.
was discussed at the time.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
either a police officer, constable,
Or a police officer.
or you, no, you don't remember that time? That's when you said, yeah, because we don't get that much money from the tickets that we give anyway, the state gets most of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did say.
All right. If we can go back to the vote on this, but,
And that, it was, I think it was discussed in lieu of the police officer until we got one.
no, that was never worded in that manner. It was one
I'd
for
rather
the
have
other.
one police officer than have to wait and allow somebody to drive and waiting for way out.
And you also have Johnson County already. Sure.
Even Rose can do that for us.
Maybe Baker has
They were next door to make that the voice. Think about taking that right.
It was voted on for whatever.
Number 9, discuss the approval appointment of Captain Gallup as motion judge for 2 or 4-year term. Open for discussion.
Well, I brought this up a minute ago, I don't understand why we have a judge and we don't have a court. Can somebody explain that to me?
She never does.
I know, I remember that, she won't talk to anybody, well, I think Carolyn's been.
Mark didn't even ask her to come, asked her to come,
She's
she
been
wouldn't
paid
come.
some money, so y'all obviously need to contact with her on the financial report.
Better to have it, need it, not have to.
Why are you paying for something that you haven't used in years?
But it's still, you're still, you yourself sat there and said, let's be proactive. Okay? That is being proactive. You gotta have somebody there in case it does happen.
But they've asked her to come, she won't even come.
Okay, wait, let's get somebody else.
That's the point.
Yeah, let's get somebody else. If she doesn't respond to requests from this city,
Well,
she's
she
going to
doesn't
that.
from the prior mayor, or even, I think Kelly's tried to reach out to her before, and
Okay.
mayor.
They're supposed to remain independent of the council.
Yes.
And the reason she hasn't
Well,
come
how does
forward,
that work?
I, talked to her today, and I asked her to send me a list of her duties. If we hire a policeman and we need to have a court, especially if the policeman gives tickets, we need a judge. I have a list of her, what she does.
How does she get paid? How is she on the financials if we haven't voted on her till now? How does that happen?
We have voted on her. We vote on her every 2 years.
Well, you didn't this time, I do remember when Martin was the mayor and you did vote on it.
The last
Now,
time
as
we
we
voted
voted.
on her was December 2019. And it's time to vote on her again, every 2 years.
So why are you paying her without a vote? You already paid some money. Why?
Her term is 2 years.
Well, it's just come up. Her term, we vote on it now to retain her.
But you've already paid her for the vote. That's what I'm saying.
No, you're paying her for this year. Her term is 2
This is for
years.
the next,
It comes up in
for
2022.
next appointment. That's what this vote is for.
And she did not have court because no one was writing tickets.
No tickets, no court.
Doesn't she also settle disputes between?
She can't.
I've never seen her. I mean,
No one's ever used it.
We never come to meetings.
no.
Yeah, they've asked her to come, but she wouldn't even come.
Yeah. But
Or respond.
I don't know what she has.
There's a list of her duties right there. If we've never used her, maybe we should know what she's supposed to do.
Well, she responds to Carolyn, but she's not supposed to respond to council people, so it's very confusing.
I'm gonna
But
try.
it's the way she was asked.
Possible. Can we hear her duties? Is that possible?
Sure.
If she's on the agenda here,
Yeah, that's what I brought, in case they wanted to hear them.
Go ahead, read.
I'll let the secretary. Okay?
Yeah, she's got to be.
I can't get out of it.
She's captured.
Crap.
Monday, December 6th at 12:49 p.m. In response to questions concerning the duties of the municipal court judge, Briaroaks City Council approved my, Catherine Gabbard, position as judge in 2006 and has been approved every 2 years hence. Number 1, review and suggest updating all ordinances by city council. Number 2, write new ordinances as suggested in the laws that have been changed in accordance with the state of Texas. Number 3, held court and process legal actions for the city as necessary for any obstruction of justice. However, I don't know, it says peace.
I didn't know what that was.
Number 4, tabulated. Process and file all state required forms regarding court monthly actions and for no actions. 5, accessible to city council and residents regarding questions or ordinances. 6, attend yearly state required 16-hour seminars for 15 years, municipal court with a total of 21 years on the bench. 7, by the laws of Texas, the court must be kept totally separate from city government and vice versa, with the exception of swearing in of elected officials. Number 8, I have served as Briaroaks Municipal Court and residents with honor and pleasure.
So the citizens contact her if they have any questions on the ordinances.
Everybody knows she is.
I don't know, I mean, I've never heard of them.
Number 7 states that she can't come.
it also says she swears in the elected officials.
Yeah,
Swear me in.
No, I think it said that's one of the duties she doesn't.
Yeah.
She doesn't do swearing. She can, but that's not typical for
No, for any city really.
She didn't swear in?
No, no.
So the citizens contact her with questions on the ordinances.
Nobody even knows who she is.
Yeah, I don't think that's such a good idea. What if I'm gonna build a house and let me go call this judge?
She wrote the check, she doesn't do anything. That's good work if you can get it. Yep,
That's peace. Obstruction of justice of peace.
that's a generic.
It's a typo.
Is there some,
That's the standard legal terminology. Obstruction of justice of justice of peace. Obstruction of peace.
Is there some reason why this city doesn't go to a JT and has their own unit?
That was a discussion I had before. There's a JP for this area, however, we're split right down Ward Lane.
Okay,
2 different districts, 2 different JPs.
okay.
That's who I wanted to contact and explore. However, when I checked into it and I saw the names, I had to stop. My pass caught up. So I can't, I'm out of here. It's not in a bad way. I know, I've worked with these people. Perhaps you could do it. You're familiar with the system. I can't do it.
Can you give me the names of the JPs that donate for research?
They're online.
Okay.
As soon as I got online, I went, oh, I'm done. And I never put it back on the agenda or talked about it. So tonight.
Before the last time we talked about it, that kind of.
There's two gentlemen over here very familiar with the system. Good citizens of the town of Briaroaks. That I'm throwing under the bus right now.
Okay, now here's this, motion. One, approve, Younger to either a 2 or 4 year term. Did I hear a motion?
I'd make a motion for a 4-year term.
Okay, 4 years. Did I hear a second? No second?
Second.
I'll make it a 2-year term.
I'm ready.
Okay, 2 years.
2 year term?
For a
2 year term?
Okay. Need a second.
How much are we paying?
37.25 a quarter. 125.
Motion made, seconded.
She's budgeted
Approve
50.
2 year term.
Who seconded? Who seconded?
Carolyn did. All in favor? 2 year term?
Yeah. Were you in favor?
2-year term?
2 year term, Jay? Phil?
I'm gonna stay on that.
Trying to.
It's y'all can pass it out, so.
Was it 3 or 4?
2, 4.
Three.
2. I know, but how many people? 1, 2, 3.
You have 3 votes.
Jack,
Three votes
Jack
and
was
I know
two
that.
abstain.
So it's 3 of them. Split it off. That's a
Well,
lot.
hopefully we will use her services in the next 2 years. As we have a jack, we're not here, but I hope so.
I agree, I hope we get something from it.
Yeah, I do.
As a citizen though, I would rather have a judge over me than the mayor, because the mayor is the other option.
Update the oil and gas bond. I think you got some on that one, Sheriff.
Yeah, so I asked them, they're wanting, the company has been sold from one company to another. So we're going to request us to send back the original bonds that we have on file, and they will replace them. However, they haven't given us the official letter that says the process is going to take place and where the city will send them. So as soon as I have that, I will provide that.
Okay.
They said it's a slow process. Apparently.
You didn't, by chance, the name that you're selling to, did you?
I don't know if you told me. It's like FDL has it right now.
Yeah.
That was just me. Actually,
So around the one for. Caution. Is he talking about?
And
We're-
they're talking about oil and gas bonds, they skip.
I know, they skipped it, that's why I asked about that.
They're talking about oil and gas bonds.
It's already done.
So what were you asking?
We're waiting on
Terri was, Terri was supposed to have done, talk to the people on the audience.
I told you I had twice and never had to return a call. So we need to do a refund or a need, but that's very detailed. So I can send y'all some from the different cities that I got, when I Googled it, but it's gonna be a process. It's not just I call them, they call me back. You have to have a detailed request for proposal to say, this is what I want. You can't just say, call me. So,
All right.
gonna have to go with it.
Okay, Terry. I'm gonna give that back to you again. Can you take care of it?
I don't know, I'll do my best, I work full time. So I don't know, maybe somebody else that doesn't quite work as much, but yeah, I'll do what I can.
Okay.
Won't be to the first.
Mr. Mayor,
No,
I do everything.
no, I'm not gonna give you anything. Then I'll give you. Ready? I'm not sure that we might have to, we definitely need to get it on it, get it done ASAP. We'll have to do some more research on that. Okay, the next item is reports on, we've been having some street signs and stolen.
Yes, I got a phone call on Sunday the seventh, November the seventh from, Mrs. Dunn. Somebody had taken the stop sign right there on the corner at Carver. Sometime around midnight, dawn, and people were running through it like they had never seen a stop sign in their ever. And she almost lost her son-in-law, he almost got broadside. So, I went and got a sign out of storage, went and put it up. It's still there. Hopefully it'll stay there.
So I noticed one got put up, and the other.
I made sure it's different.
And I was fixing to call somebody and said, okay, who's got the signs now, we'll put it at the stop sign.
And we lost another, city limit sign that was stolen within the last 2 weeks. We just, all of a sudden,
Are these being unbolted or run over, or how are they being sold?
no, it's just like there was never one on it.
They just don't bolt, they think, that's why I put that stop sign over here.
You carry bolts, you done,
I put carry bolt, beat the ends over, so I
Right,
couldn't.
so it's the same MO on both sides?
It's all worth it.
We're probably gonna need to get some city limit signs.
Yeah.
Right, I'm saying,
They're souvenirs.
So,
did we check
that's
for,
why that's made.
did we check for like a ring camera on the house? Right, so,
What do you
Right.
guys
The
do?
house right
Where do
there.
you think you live? Greens.
I got two neighbors over here.
I got a ring too.
I got one neighbor who's got cameras all the way around his house.
Okay, item number 13,
That's big important.
return.
All out of scope. Thank you, everyone.
Andy, what signs do we have in the store? Do we have any different signs?
Large and small.
Like no outlet, or just stop signs?
It's large.
Because Trailwood is the only street within the city that does not have a no outlet sign or a speed limit sign.
When you turn on the trail one for Water Lane,